I'm all right. How are you, sir?
Okay.
What's going on?
I'm going to ask you the same thing.
Why?
Because our HR manager called and said you're asking people for money.
Okay, I'm hard of hearing. Can you speak up?
Our HR manager in the building here called and said you're asking people for money out here.
Who is the HR? What's their name?
It was JD.
JD? That's, is that what they said?
Yeah, they said there's a male on the front steps with a sign asking people for money.
Okay.
Are we asking people for money or?
I'm not answering any questions.
Okay. Let me see your ID.
Nope.
Yes, sir.
I'm engaged in constitutionally protected activity, sir.
You're also being investigated for a potential city ordinance violation. So
I'm engaged in constitutionally protected activity. What's your name and badge number?
It's William Holtman. It's 309.
Okay, my name is
Now
Jeff.
I've given you my name. You need to give me your
My
ID.
name is Jeff, and this is freedom of speech, freedom of religion,
I understand that.
and freedom of assembly on a traditional public forum. I am not asking for money.
Okay. That's what I'm investigating.
Well, all you have is hearsay. I say I'm not. HR manager says I am.
Okay. So that's called an investigation.
Okay, we'll go investigate.
Right now I'm talking to you. I am investigating.
Let's make it clear.
1. A routine complaint quickly developed into a lengthy constitutional confrontation when a police officer approached a man standing outside a public building. The officer explained that the building's HR manager, identified as JD, had reported that the man was asking members of the public for money while holding a sign. Because the man was hard of hearing, he asked the officer to repeat the allegation before calmly denying it. He insisted he had not requested money from anyone and was simply exercising his constitutional rights in a traditional public forum. The officer responded that he was investigating a possible breach of a local city ordinance and requested identification. The man immediately refused, explaining that he was engaged in protected First Amendment activity and believed he had no legal obligation to identify himself without reasonable suspicion of a crime. After exchanging names, the officer maintained that the complaint justified his investigation, while the man argued that the accusation amounted to nothing more than hearsay and could not outweigh constitutional protections.
Protected activities. Wait, just let me finish what I'm saying. I'm engaged in a constitutionally protected activity safeguarded by the First Amendment. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly on public property. Do you understand that?
I understand what the First
You're
Amendment
not getting my ID.
Okay. Give me your ID.
You're not getting my ID.
I'm not asking.
It doesn't matter if you're asking or not. I'm engaged in a
You're fixing to
constitution.
find yourself
You
in jail
don't
for
get
disobeying a lawful order.
you don't get ID for a constitutionally protected activity, sir.
Okay. Hey, Corey, do you have JD step out?
And I'll let you know I'm not going to resist if you arrest me, but you're making a big mistake if you are. I've already told you I'm not panhandling.
And that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I'm not panhandling.
I don't know why y'all got to do all this constitutional crap, make stuff so difficult.
Constitutional crap.
Yeah, y'all try to hang on this. What y'all try to do is do stuff like this to try to get a reaction, so you can
Try to
sue
get a
us,
reaction
sue
with
the
a
city.
God bless the homeless
I know
veteran
what
sign.
you're doing, man. I've
Okay.
been doing this 17
So you know what I'm
years.
doing. Get back in your car and have a nice day.
As soon as JD comes out and tells me he didn't hear you ask for money, I will.
It doesn't matter what JD. No, it
So
doesn't.
JD says that he heard you ask for money, and he's willing to write a statement. You're going to go to jail for
Okay,
panhandling.
let's go to jail. Let's do it.
I want to talk to JD first.
Let's do it.
I'm just telling you where we're at.
Hook me up for freedom of speech, freedom of religion.
2. As the discussion continued, both men became increasingly determined to defend their positions. The officer repeatedly insisted that he was carrying out a lawful investigation and warned that refusing to comply could create further legal issues. The man remained respectful but unwavering, stating that freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of peaceful assembly protected his presence on public property. He stressed that he was not panhandling and had not approached anyone asking for money. When the officer called for JD to come outside, the man welcomed the opportunity, believing the witness would confirm that no solicitation had taken place. He even stated that, although he would never physically resist arrest, detaining him for exercising constitutional rights would be a serious mistake. The officer, however, continued relying on the original complaint and suggested that a written witness statement could provide sufficient grounds for enforcement if the allegation proved accurate.
You've already been put on notice that I'm exercising a constitution protected right.
And you've also been put on notice that if JD, who is an employee of this city, is willing to write a statement that says you were panhandling, I'm going to put you in jail.
Well, then JD will be his qualified immunity in jeopardy too.
What was your last report?
JD's not answering his phone.
Call 420.
and start recording.
That's fine. I've been recording since before I pulled in the parking lot.
Okay.
That's all I'm doing.
That's fine. I'm engaged in constitutionally protected activity safeguarded by the First Amendment. God bless freedom of speech. God bless freedom of religion. God bless freedom of assembly on public property.
I just want you to know the other side of your statement is absolutely incorrect. The other side of your
Panhandling is not a crime?
Panhandling is a crime.
All right. If I panhandle in front of you, will you arrest me?
I absolutely will.
Okay. When the next person comes by,
Violation of our city
the next
ordinance.
person that comes by, I will ask them for money.
That's fine. You're welcome
All right.
to do so. Just
I haven't
understand
done.
you will be placed under arrest.
I haven't
at
done
that
so
time.
to this point, but I might do so.
I haven't said you had. I told you what I've been told.
All right. Panhandling is a constitutionally protected activity.
No.
It is free. Yes, it is.
It's a violation of city ordinance.
It's
and
freedom
if
of
you do
speech.
it, you're going to go to jail.
Freedom of speech.
No, it's not.
All right, I'm putting you on notice. I'm going to panhandle. It's freedom of speech.
And I'm putting you on notice that when you do, you will be arrested.
Okay. Listen.
Standing here with a sign and saying "God bless the homeless vets," you're absolutely right.
So is panhandling.
3. The exchange soon shifted away from the original complaint and became a broader argument about constitutional law. The officer criticized what he described as people hiding behind constitutional arguments to complicate simple investigations, while the man rejected that characterization and insisted he was merely defending rights guaranteed under the First Amendment. He explained that his sign expressing support for homeless veterans was itself protected speech and accused the officer of attempting to suppress lawful expression. Both men agreed to continue recording the encounter, with the man revealing he had been filming from the moment he entered the car park. He repeatedly declared his support for freedom of speech, freedom of religion and freedom of peaceful assembly, while also insisting that standing peacefully with a sign on public property could not be treated as criminal behavior. Despite the officer's warnings, the man remained composed and continued relying on constitutional principles rather than emotional confrontation.
Panhandling is a freedom of speech as well.
No,
The
sir,
courts.
it's a violation.
Are you
of
in
the city
contempt of
ordinance.
court right now? Are you in
We're not
contempt
in
of court?
court. How can I be in contempt?
Because the courts have said that panhandling is a freedom of speech issue. It's a freedom of speech.
If that was the case, then it wouldn't be on our books as,
Yes, it
as
would.
a city ordinance.
Yes, it would.
Well, then
That's why the
between you
courts
and
have done it. That's why the courts have had to rule on this.
Have him step down, please.
Panhandling is not a crime.
It is in the city.
Matter of fact, it's not only not a crime, it's a constitutionally protected activity safeguarded by the
Where
First
in the
Amendment.
Constitution does it say you can panhandle?
Freedom of speech.
That's not freedom of speech.
Freedom of association. It's not?
No, it's not.
According to who?
Nowhere in the First Amendment does it say you can panhandle without reprise.
It says that I can talk to people, doesn't it?
It does, but the city ordinance for soliciting alms and contributions also says that you can't ask people.
That's
for
a
money.
content-based restriction. That's a content-based restriction.
JD's on the way down. You have the right to face your accuser. That's in the Constitution.
Okay,
too.
that's fine.
Shows that he got a ticket for the date of birth 1993 0611, 1993 0611.
People have offered me money, I haven't taken it.
The debate then centered on whether panhandling itself was protected by the First Amendment or prohibited by local law. The officer firmly maintained that requesting money from strangers violated the city's ordinance and warned that anyone doing so could be arrested immediately. The man strongly disagreed, arguing that federal courts had repeatedly recognized peaceful panhandling as a form of protected expression. To challenge the officer's position, he even suggested that he could ask the next passerby for money simply to prove the legal point. The officer responded that such an action would result in arrest, while the man insisted any prosecution would fail because constitutional rights could not be overridden by municipal regulations. Their disagreement expanded into a detailed legal discussion covering freedom of expression, content-based restrictions, court rulings, and the limits of local government authority. Throughout the exchange, neither side showed any willingness to abandon their interpretation of the law.
So, he hasn't asked you. He says panhandling's not a crime.
Panhandling is a First Amendment protected right.
No, it's not.
JD, panhandling is freedom of speech. So even if he arrested me for panhandling, it would be a violation of my rights, and I would be suing you guys. All right.
That's your option to do so. Panhandling is a violation of the law. I can give you the code section if you want to do
Code, that's fine. Your code section doesn't override the United States Constitution. And the freedom of the First Amendment to the United States Constitution.
As long as he's not asking for money, he's not violating. Like standing there with the sign, he's right. I have no issue with that. Yeah, we just got it. But panhandling is a crime.
Panhandling is First Amendment protected activity.
You let me talk.
Freedom of speech. Well, I'm just going to correct you every time you say it. I'll leave at 5 o'clock since it closes at 5, but
So we just had a complaint of somebody that was out there looked like a panhandler. So that's why this all happened. So I'm sorry.
but
And I told you I was going to investigate it, did I not?
Yes.
And I told you I was going to call Jay and ask him what he heard, right?
All right.
And have I not done that?
Yeah, but you were threatening to put me in jail for not giving ID.
Well,
At 5, as the conversation continued, the man repeatedly questioned how a local ordinance could take precedence over the United States Constitution. He argued that restrictions targeting specific forms of speech amounted to unlawful content-based regulation and reminded the officers that individuals also have the right to confront their accusers. He further explained that although members of the public had voluntarily offered him money, he had neither accepted it nor actively requested donations. Eventually, J.D. confirmed that, at least during the officer's presence, the man had not been asking anyone for money. The officer acknowledged that if no active solicitation was taking place, there would be no immediate enforcement action. Nevertheless, he continued insisting that panhandling itself remained unlawful under city regulations, while the man maintained that any such ordinance would ultimately fail if challenged before a federal court.
technically you're required by law.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You want to try that? We can go that route too.
But I'm not going to give you the reaction you're looking for.
My reaction, the reaction I'm looking for with a God bless the homeless veteran sign is just people just to leave me alone. That's all.
Listen, you got to understand, people call us and allege that a crime has been committed. We come and investigate it. It's called an investigative process. It's literally what they pay us to do.
Well, panhandling is not a crime either. Even if I was panhandling,
That's
it is not a crime.
That's your opinion.
No, it's not. It's the court's opinion. It's the federal court's opinion.
Anyways, have a good day. We're done.
All right, you too.
Nobody can say yes, I heard that. Yeah, I wanted to hear.
So even if I asked JD, if I asked you for money, would I go to jail right now?
No, you're not going to get the reaction.
Okay, JD, can I have some money? I'm panhandling.
I'm not fighting. I'm not
Yeah,
stupid.
good. You shouldn't be because it's a freedom of speech thing.
No, it's not. It's
Yes.
a violation of city ordinance.
You're walking away and getting in your car because you know better.
You got a smartphone. Look up north. It's called Unity.
You know better. You're getting in your car and you're leaving because you know better.
And contributions.
You don't want to go that route. You don't want to be deposed. You want to go to federal court.
As the conversation continued, the man repeatedly questioned how a local ordinance could take precedence over the United States Constitution. He argued that restrictions targeting specific forms of speech amounted to unlawful content-based regulation and reminded the officers that individuals also have the right to confront their accusers. He further explained that although members of the public had voluntarily offered him money, he had neither accepted it nor actively requested donations. Eventually, J.D. confirmed that, at least during the officer's presence, the man had not been asking anyone for money. The officer acknowledged that if no active solicitation was taking place, there would be no immediate enforcement action. Nevertheless, he continued insisting that panhandling itself remained unlawful under city regulations, while the man maintained that any such ordinance would ultimately fail if challenged before a federal court.